Welcome back to our channel, U.S. Immigration News. ICE to be abolished under new proposed bill. DHS responds. Please hit like and subscribe for an upcoming video. A new congressional proposal seeks to abolish U.S. immigration and customs enforcement. Responding to the plan, Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin told Newsweek, DHS is a law enforcement agency, and it will continue to carry out immigration enforcement for the safety of Americans who have been victimized by rapists, murderers, drug traffickers, and gang members. President Donald Trump campaigned on immigration enforcement. The American people voted for it, and Secretary Noem is delivering. White matters. Democratic Congressman Shreve Thander of Michigan introduced the Abolish ICE Act earlier this week as the country faced widespread national protests over controversial U.S. immigration policies under the Trump administration. His bill seeks to dismantle ICE, an agency criticized for its aggressive enforcement tactics and recent string of incidents involving civilians, including the fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good in Minnesota. What to know? On Thursday, Representative Thander officially introduced the Abolish ICE Act, designated as H.R. 7123, in the U.S. House of Representatives. Thander's legislation calls for the termination of federal funding to ICE, the rescission of its unobligated funds, and the formal dissolution of the agency within 90 days of enactment. The bill has been referred to the Judiciary Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, and the Ways and Means Committee for further examination. ICE, created in 2003 under DHS as part of the post-9/11 government reorganization, took over many immigration-related duties from the former Immigration and Naturalization Service. Thander's initiative follows the killing of Renee Nicole Good, a U.S. citizen, by an ICE agent in Minneapolis on January 7, 2026, which sparked national outrage and protests at the Minnesota State Capitol and beyond. Another high-profile shooting in the leg of a Venezuelan man this week by an ICE agent has further stoked tensions. Democratic Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, who has called for ICE to leave the city, said on X on Wednesday, "No matter what led up to this incident, the situation we are seeing in our city is not sustainable. It reflects a significant shift in public opinion, with ICE becoming a flashpoint for broader discussions on immigration reform, federal policing powers, and human rights." A new Economist/YouGov poll, with a margin of error of plus or minus 3.3%, which surveyed 1,602 adults from January 9th to January 12th, 2026, indicated that 46% of Americans supported abolishing ICE and 43% were opposed. Support for abolishing ICE has grown significantly, rising from 19% in late 2024 to 43% this month, according to Civics. A total of 7 in 10 Democrats now back the proposal. Thander's bill also references a series of incidents in 2025, including the deaths of 32 inmates in ICE custody, the highest toll in over 2 decades, and multiple fatal encounters with ICE agents. His office argues that ICE has prioritized enforcement over due process, and that its duties could be reassigned to other federal agencies. What happens next? The Abolish ICE Act now proceeds to committee review in the House of Representatives, where it faces a challenging path with the Republican-led House and Senate. For the bill to become law, it would need to secure passage in both chambers and receive Trump's signature, an extremely unlikely outcome given the administration's strident defense of ICE. 1,500 soldiers on alert for possible Minnesota deployment. About 1,500 active duty U.S. soldiers have been placed on standby for a potential deployment to Minnesota, media has reported. According to a report by the Washington Post, the Pentagon issued prepare to deploy orders to the troops this week, citing defense officials in President Donald Trump's administration. Newsweek could not immediately verify the claims and contacted the White House and Department of Defense via email outside of regular working hours for comment. White matters. Tensions have been especially high in Minneapolis, the state's largest city, following the fatal shooting of Renee Good by an immigration and customs enforcement agent on January 7th. Her death has sparked demonstrations against what critics say is an aggressive and authoritarian deportation campaign, while federal officials have framed the protests as a threat to law enforcement. What to know? The troops come from 2 infantry battalions within the Army's 11th Airborne Division, a unit stationed in Alaska according to the Washington Post. Minnesota has been a focal point for the Trump administration's hardline immigration agenda since December, when the Department of Homeland Security launched Operation Metro Surge, which has resulted in the arrests of hundreds. Demonstrations against the action have intensified after ICE agents shot 2 people this month, killing Good, an American citizen, and wounding Julio Cesar Sosasiles, a Venezuelan migrant who was shot during attempted detention. Trump has also raised the possibility of invoking the Insurrection Act, a rarely used federal law that allows a president to deploy military forces within the U.S. to respond to domestic unrest. He warned last week that he would take such action if Minnesota officials failed to curb protests that, according to the administration, have put federal immigration agents at risk. Trump posted on social media this week that unless Minnesota authorities stop protesters from attacking ICE agents, he would institute the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act, enacted in 1807, grants the president authority to federalize a state's National Guard or deploy active duty troops domestically. The last time a president invoked it was in 1992, when President George H.W. Bush sent federal troops to Los Angeles during riots that erupted after the acquittal of police officers involved in the beating of Rodney King. The current standoff has also deepened political tensions between the White House and Minnesota's leadership. The Trump administration has increased pressure on Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, both Democrats, accusing them of obstructing federal immigration enforcement. The Justice Department has gone so far as to launch an investigation into whether Walz and Frey have impeded ICE operations. Both have pushed back against those claims. Walz, Frey, and other Democrats have said the federal response to protests is authoritarian, while urging demonstrators to keep protests peaceful. On Saturday, Walz announced that he had mobilized the Minnesota National Guard to support local authorities, if needed, though he has not yet deployed Guard troops to the streets. State officials have filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, arguing that the increased federal law enforcement presence is politically motivated and violates the Constitution. What happens next? There has not yet been any official confirmation over whether the troops will be deployed to Minnesota.